I know this man, shout out, man, to another milestone, man, Supreme Elite Team.
Run it up, hey. I'm cooking up dog food. Yeah. She play with the dick with the tosses. Wow. The smoking that leaf from Toronto. They watching our whips like a car show. You look like you wanna get shit off your chest. What's up? I thought so. Okay. I'm back in this game, now you sit at the end of the bench. What's up? I thought so. Okay. Yeah, back in this motherfucker like a left something in this bitch. A whole gallon of the white. I'm getting drunker than a bitch. Big straps with the Mac 11s got me putting stenos in the clip. They lay your shit up on the curb. Like you didn't pay your rent. Okay. Got Papa Chondo, but no pizza. The dope with his flippers, straight O's and zippers. Right off the Peter Pan, intake at 9 if you open this millicent with you. My BBE label with guys on the tables. Fuck your scar to your Dracos. This map make you jump, no Chris Carson is stable. You get scout like potatoes. Shorty saying that I am the one. Who the fuck you think she Billie Jean? She want a nigga, put her on the team. After spitting out my kiss a Listerine. The flow is bucket like it's Greek the Free. But I keep it 44 like Pistol P. Now really shitting on your biggest dreams. About the floor with you niggas, Mr. Clean. I'm cooking up dog food. She play with the dick with the tosses. I'm smoking that leaf from Toronto. They watching our whips like a car show. You look like you wanna get shit off your chest. What's up? I thought so. Okay. I'm back in this game, now you sit at the end of the bench. What's up? I'm in the projects like I'm packed with a cake. They ask about it, they say missing no plate. I know the smells when they pull out them trays. It's nothing edible that sits in the place. Right out of prison, I ain't snitching nobody. And you ain't jumping lessons up on the base. I need some water so I can splash in the lake. And I need a rat so I can eat, I'm a snake. My bitch from Louisiana and she Creole with sticking head. Hopping out like she clear. We ain't missing, ain't no shots at the feet though. The out of time got them thinking it's zero. Which be as long as a cord extender. You get blown like a cartridge Nintendo. Fuck nigga, X you out like you nothing. That's because you be playing the middle. I got an issue with the streets, it's breeding snitches. That's why I'm a family guy like Peter Griffin. Heard about Western Road, think I need a Smith. And issue time with his close, I think he a blister. Matters with the clips, I'm pushing T in my sack. You want the smoke, and you'll catch your T at your neck. Alphabet sticks, let the T in the map. Bitch, I'm hotter than few, that's gonna leak out the jet. I'm cooking up dog food. She play with the dick with the tosses. I'm smoking that leaf from Toronto. They watching our whips like a car show. You look like you wanna get shit off your chest. I thought so. I'm back in this game, now you sit at the end of the bench. I thought so.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. We are back with a. It's how just got to check in. We got to tap in. The first 2 nights of the mortgage justice class has been crazy. It looks like it may have to be extended a couple of days because I do a lot of, when I'm reading, I do a lot of, opinions and giving a little more context as I read. So it may take like an hour to get through one document, but the information is crazy. The information is lovely. And the most important fact about it that I love is after I'm, done giving my soliloquy, we just pull up the court case and literally we'll just read the court case and the judge's opinions. And God damn it, I'm trying to figure out how the hell is a judge mirroring everything I'm saying? A judge. Whether it was, what was the court case we had from New York? It was a state Supreme Court. Then we went to the United States District Courts, the Federal Circuit. It don't matter what, but I do understand that, the post-process traumatic stress disorder has pretty much caused a lot of people to pretty much just doubt anything, regardless. Hey, I understand. If I thought I was going to get $500 million for paying $500 for a bond, if I was facing foreclosure and I paid $8,500 for a packet and my house still got taken, and the person who sold me the packet had no redress for me, instead of texting me instead of calling me back after I left about 15 voices. So they don't have to do the docket where you said you had a pre-type in that motion. I found about 15 court cases. So I really put all this time and energy and belief in something, but then I pop up and say every way you think it goes, it doesn't go that way, and you're going to get denied. Especially for the people who just pay for that type of claim. Yeah, I'm not going to have a favorable. I'm not going to have a favorable popularity score. So I understand. Oh, shout out to the partner. Uh, shout out, shout out to you. You know who you was. He actually got the first package. Thank you. I received the funds. I appreciate you. Um, I knew you was gonna come back and get it. And thank you for having integrity because you actually could have ran away with the package. You actually could have ran away. Uh, but you said you wanted to run it by your financial friend. Can I get over on the system, and how can I get over, period. So most people would have never came back with the 7,500 like you did. So I definitely appreciate, you for doing that. And any questions along the way, any clarities that you need, you can call my phone anytime. For you, you know you are. For you, you can call my phone anytime. I'm going to answer and uh, walk you through the actual courtroom proceedings. If you have to make oral arguments, I don't think there's a lot of oral arguments in these cases like there used to be. Pretty much the judge is going to rule off the documents, off the motions, but the key arguments that you have to make in the foreclosure, the key arguments that you have to make um, in your initial complaint, the thresholds and the standards needed to get to pass the sufficiency test of your complaint under Rule 12b6. All that is there, and of course, one of the benefits of actually getting that package. Yes, I know you've seen it. You have 25. I did an assortment of 25 court cases, state and federal, where the judges have ruled all in the favor of the borrower. A lot of these court cases, you actually have to know the court cases and the name of the court cases in order to be looked up. This is why a lot of people argue motions, argue foreclosures, file documents based on what they got from the package, but they don't have not one court case that I have. They have not one because they don't even know these court cases exist. The problem is these court cases are not really public like that. So uh you kind of gotta know, but gotta kind of gotta be connected to that world, which I am, which is why the attorney friend actually sent me that 100 cases because he's been in that world, especially with the everything that happened with the mortgages and mortgage-backed securities and things like that. So actually sent me all those court cases. So shout out to the attorney. I definitely appreciate that. Um, and he actually told me like, yeah, you won't be able to find these cases. Like you got to know these cases exist like by name. Now it's not like they're hidden from the public record. They're like kind of like sealed cases, so it's not broadcast all around in the public like that. It's not broadcast like news articles how it was like 10, 15 years ago. They're kind of like they're like back in the archives, and you actually have to know the actual name of the plaintiff or the defendant um, in order to pull these cases up. And a lot of those cases that, well, for the fortunate ones who actually gets the package, a lot of them would see that the judge ordered the cases not to be published publicly. So that's why you got to know someone. Just like like part of our audits we do, we actually have people that actually are connected to private investigators, so they can actually trace your money, or actually like not none of these general audits people get that really don't tell the judge nothing he doesn't already know. Like the audits we get, it goes all the way from A to Z, and then the bankruptcy, and then on. Oh my God, it's just whoo. Shout out to everybody that's in the mortgage justice class. Shout out to everybody, man, because one thing that I've realized that one of the things that I've realized is uh, too many generalities, too many one-off anecdotic experiences that are being applied to everybody. Like one person's results doesn't necessarily guarantee the next person's results, because if you were in the class last night, you will understand that everything happens on a case by case. All the facts and circumstances are going to be taken into consideration. This is another reason why I never understood why these teachers would be like, read the AK-10K, read the AK-10K, read the AK-10K, but then they'll tell you to put in a claim based on contract law. I never understood how contract law will help you in a mortgage. Contract law doesn't help you in a mortgage. Contract law hurts you in a mortgage. That's another unpopular statement, because a lot of people look on TikTok, contract law, contract law, contract law, contract law, but they can never show that any judge has ruled in the exact manner in which they're advocating for. None of them can actually show a court case where the judge has said, where you can see from what the judge says, and you can see from what the teacher says, and you can realize that it was actually the same. And this is why more people are going to lose their homes. More people are going to spend thousands of dollars on these fraudulent mortgage discharge classes. More people are going to continue to lose their shit. More people will continue to get shit reversed. And it's going to continue to happen, because 2025 is the year of the purge in these spaces. By 2028, this space will be gone, died down. The only people that'll be around are just the people who are just around because this is just another crutch for them in life. Something that gives them a false sense of reality. You know, us as humans, we always like to partake in things that takes us away from the realities of life. So I'm gonna say about 2027, because the IRS has already made it hard. They've already made it hard. The refunds ain't kicking back through the door like they thought they were this year. They thought those refunds gonna be kicking back through the door. The refunds ain't kicking back through the door. Those refunds are not kicking back through the door like you think. A lot of people getting letters. It's a lot of holdups. A lot of refunds ain't kicking back to the door, through the door. The IRS is going to make you prove your case by beyond a reasonable doubt. And if you think you can implement that 2021, 2022 process in 2025, it's over. Want to know why I know it's over? Because I got the revenue ruling that was put out last year. They shutting all that shit down. All those they made changes to their system. So basically it's an automated thing now. So this is what I mean. If you have large amounts of withholdings, The system is already going to flag it for potential fraud. Exuberant amounts of withholding on a 1040, the system is going to flag it. The system is going to flag it. Potential fraud. That's what this it's going to have like they say it's a red thing. Red, it like blinks up. Potential fraud, potential fraud. And since it's potential fraud, guess what? Guess what? It goes to examinations. Once it goes to examinations, they're going to check your account. They're going to check your transcripts. They're going to check any 1099s filed. They're going to check all that. So those people that took that class where you're filing two 1099Bs, you're already in violation of the regulations. You are already in violations of the regulations. You are already in violations of the regulations. You cannot be the payer and recipient on the 1099B. You just can't be. You can't be. 1099Bs are for brokers and payers. If you paid something. But hey, I don't get paid that much to get, to let y'all know what's going on. But hey, just just do what makes you feel comfortable. Only thing is, would the results happen if they come out in your favor? Of course, be happy. When they don't come out in your favor, just wear the accountability. That's it. Just wear the accountability. Now, it's quite a few people in the mortgage justice class, and those are the people that I'm focused on right now. Those are the people that I'm focused on right now. Those are the people that I'm focused on right now. I gave out the call. People answered the call. That's it. That's it. The mortgage, and you know what's so crazy? You know what I found out that like by me, I was thinking about it this morning. If these gurus actually had their hands on my package or my class, oh my God. If they actually had something tangible that were, especially the ones with the big followings, if they actually had my stuff, like the stuff I researched, the stuff that I'm getting from the professionals, oh my God. Oh my God. They would be like the second coming of Christ. And that's one of the pearls when professional people gravitate to your class, when they're professional people in your group and they got friends who are professionals in high places, these are one of the pearls. You get connected with a lot of things that are on the inside that I know these gurus don't know. I'll have no access to. Oh no. All this phantom CPA, every guru say they got a CPA that nobody ever, just phantom CPA. That was the talker part. A CPA confirmed it. CPA confirmed. All this phantom stuff. CPA got this from a CPA. See, the difference is when I say, I got court cases that nobody in these spaces have. Not only do I have them, I know where they came from. So I know these gurus in these states, they don't have the capacity or don't have the access or don't have the connections or the network ability to even be in contact with an ex-SEC attorney, to be in contact with 7 Series securities brokers. Like, how would they even cross paths? Yeah, I know they're teaching about remedies and all that stuff, but there ain't no different from the everyday person out here in the world. They're in a network circle. It ain't no different. It's the same old average regular people. So they don't have the network that actually helps propel their teachings and take it to a next level outside of their own independent research. See, they don't have that type of network because there's some aspects of this game that you have to be on the inside to know. You have to know somebody on the inside to know. That could be interpretation. That could be the execution part. That could be how to structure things, how to word things. And these gurus, I know they come off as they want to be teachers, but they have no experiences on that other side of the world. They have no experience. They're only teaching from this side of the planet. They've never been on the inside over there. That can give you professional insight on the nuances and the intricacies of courtroom proceedings, courtroom litigations, the intricacies on claims and what risk factors can you attach your claim to. See, you got some of this stuff. You just have to know people on the other side, because it's not going to be in any type of publishing that's made public. It's not going to be in any type of regulations. It's not going to be anything. The IRS don't even really tell you how to receive credit. They just give you the regulations on how the forms filed and things of that. You got to already know it for the most part. And this is why. And then the game is ever so changing. The game is ever so changing that when people teach, they're still teaching from that 2021, 2022 state of mind, thinking that the IRS is exactly the same from 2021 and 2022, not knowing they done already fucking moved past. They done revamped this system and everything. They done had attorneys and professionals come teach the IRS from 2021 through 2024. So a lot of shit that was working in 2021 and 2022, it's not working today. It's just not in mass. And then you got to understand that when you deal with mortgages, that's why my class is kind of like closed off and the rates are what they are. And my package is the price that it is, because I know the professionalism behind it. I know the results that they're going to produce. Have different professionals already confirmed it, and nothing better than a judge. I can't offer that packet for $500, $350. See, the rest of these gurus, they would do that. They may offer it for $250, long as they can get 500 people buying it. See, they're only worried about the initial income coming in from the classes and the package. I'm not just worried about that, because like I said, I'm self-sufficient anyway. But the thing about that is you got to understand the system in which we operate in. You got to understand it's too much of a sensitive topic. And in those court cases, well, for the ones who would end up getting it, you're going to see that a lot of these hearings were filed, were heard in the judge's chambers. Like, a lot of this stuff can't go like on the record in public like that. So when you start to bring contract law fraudulent on the mortgage contract, what you're not realizing is, that means if it's fraudulent in your mortgage contract, it's fraudulent over the hundreds of millions of people who got a mortgage. You see what I'm saying? It's causing too much of disruption in the system. You want to get that's why there's only one way to win. Like, all that fraudulent, you did me so wrong, fraud, that they never win. I got like 50 court cases of people making the same arguments that's based on from what I've seen teachers talk about in their TikTok live, in their video, and the judge shuts it down. They're going to shut it down. The threshold is small. Smitty's Corners, what's up? Oh, he said, check my mic. Oh, shit. Is my mic? Hold on. Let me. How about now? So you got to understand, it's a bigger game being played. It's not just about your remedy and your rights. It's a bigger game being played. Like, you got to be realistic with this stuff. Like, there's certain claims that they just can't let you win on. Because if they let you win on it, it's going to open the floodgates for everybody in America to win. And without the secondary market, you don't have access to financing. You don't have access to financing. I know they told you that your signature created the credit. I'm sorry, in bizarre world, that would be true. If you were still a rookie or still reading from the redemption manual, then yeah, in that world, it would be correct. That would be your mindset. But I'm sorry, I live in reality. In reality, no, your signature doesn't create the credit. It's impossible for it to, because you got to understand what's going on post transaction. Somebody put the money up for you to close. Oh, you best believe that. And that's an unpopular statement because that's all what people teach. It's a negotiable instrument. Your signature created the credit. It's impossible for it to happen. How you gonna be Think about it. So if your signature created the credit, so you now owe a debt to your credit. So is that what you signed a contract knowing that your signature is going to create this credit, and then you're going to pay your credit back? You're going to pay back a debt owed to your credit? Or is it one of those, they deposited the note and then loaned the money back out to you? What they call that in the federal courts? They call that the vapor money theory. Somebody going to use the vapor money theory? I mean, that argument goes back to the 80s. I think the earliest case I heard about the vapor money theory, I think it was 1986. And the mortgage borrower actually made that claim. And then I seen a claim of that back in 2017. And I remember in the judge's opinion, when they were ruling, denying the borrower, of course, said that the claims that this borrower stated today have been repeatedly rejected by the federal courts for the last 32 years. Not last 2 years, not last 5 years, hell, not last 10 years, the last 32 years. Last 32 years. And what are you going to see today in the average mortgage, like foreclosure, like in the average foreclosure proceeding? What are you going to see? The same claims that's already been rejected. And guess what? See, this is so powerful. It doesn't even matter if you're in foreclosure or they already took the home. Your claims is still viable. Even if they already took the home, even if they're already in foreclosure. And there's other venues that you can use to execute your rights. But that is why my rights are what they are. When you have the professionals backing you up, ex attorneys, people that worked in the executive offices for Bank of America for 15 years, saying you are absolutely correct. When I'm on my way out the door this year, I'm going to start releasing some of our Zoom calls for the members only. I'm going to start releasing the members only for the Zoom calls. It's going to be me, you going my 7-Series securities broker, the ex-SEC attorney, the ex-bank official that used to work for Bank of America. You're going to see us all on a Zoom call. You're going to hear. Every time we meet up, I get copies of the videos. Every time we meet up, y'all going to hear. When I'm on my way out the door, I'm going to drop them into this year. God willing. And I'm not saying that, pretty much all these gurus don't know what they're talking about. All these gurus don't know what they're talking about. That's not the point. The point is, when you are dealing with mortgages, it's a totally different ball game. In the general HJR 192, vapor money theory, my signature created the credit, fraud in the factum, emergency banking acts. Here, take this remittance. Listen, I just talked to someone yesterday. Well, I was texting them in the private chat. They're part of my Telegram group, which I, looked out for them. So they told me that they was giving remittances to their mortgage company. They sent 3 remittances. As soon as that person told me that, two things came to my mind. Either the FBI came knocking at the door or they got indicted. Want to know why? Because I had a client, an older individual who did that, and the FBI indicted that individual, sentenced that person to probation because they were old and never been in trouble. But when I said what happened with those, guess what that person said? Said the FBI came knocking on my door and told me if I do it again, it's not going to be this type of, basically saying we're not going to be so nice. Yeah, showed about the door. Trying to issue a remittance, a bill of exchange, an international bill of exchange to set off your mortgage, it's dead on arrival. See, this is the part where I know where a lot of people are not going to like, because they're like, damn, this is all the stuff I know. This is all I know. Every time you talk about a process don't work, I've either done it already or just paid for it already or already know what you're talking about is true. I just hate that you keep bringing it back up to remind me, because it's going to incite that feeling that I paid that person all that money for it. That's what's really going on. Ain't that what I'm saying is lying? Not the fact that I'm lying to you, is the fact that the reality is like, stop reminding me of that. And you know, you gotta think about it. Like you trying to get your house back. These people, these your so-called lenders, these people who you got your mortgage through, they obligated to somebody too now. And their obligation is going to be fulfilled when you fulfill your obligation. So what makes you think they just going to be so eager to release you out your contract just because you sent a document and accusing them of a whole bunch of meritless claims, baseless accusations? What makes you think they are going to do anything in your behavior? I mean, on your behalf? Because if they release you from the contract, that means they got to cover the bill. You think the average mortgage company is going to cover your bill? You really think they give a damn about you that much? Because that's what it means. The remedy that a lot of y'all pursue means that the mortgage lender is going to have to cover the bill. And let's just take the process and the mindset that you have to adopt to even partake in some of these spaces. You know, like your logical mindset, you got to drop that to the wayside before you start doing some of these processes that they advocate for. You cannot use discernment. All logical conclusions got to go out the window, and you just got to follow the script. Okay, so let's put all that to the side right quick. Ask yourself a question. If you were held liable on a pre-existing agreement, and then a borrower comes in talking about HJR 192 or sending in a remittance or a coupon, which only means that if you let them off the hook, you got to cover that debt, which defeats the purpose of you doing what you're doing, because your whole intent is to earn a profit and not lose money in the process, which could jeopardize the participants of the transaction. Would you honor that stuff? I'm going to give you my answer. Hell no. So what makes you think they're going to honor yours? What would give you any confidence that they're going to honor yours? And this is what happens when you look at this stuff one-sided and you don't take in consideration of the whole field. Most of y'all just look at it from a very narrow, you look at it from the way you want to see it. The problem is the way you want to see it doesn't comport with economic reality. They are making it hard. So this person, they actually garnished. Wasn't a lot that it wasn't a lot that they were actually owed. The problem is what they were trying to levy and garnish from my client was a little bit more than what they actually got back. But the backdrop is they say that they owe taxes, say that they owe income taxes. The first person that they worked with before they reached out to me in January is the first person What they had them do was an affidavit of non-corporate existence. Yeah, that's what they paid for the first time. They paid for an affidavit of non-corporate existence because they sent me everything they paid for the first time. The IRS got a little more aggressive after that person sent that stuff in. And then they had a whole bunch of different point for points. And if the IRS doesn't rebut point for point, then the debt is discharged according to HJR 192. I remember the affidavit. I read it. So I called my client back. I said, bro, what would make you want to even send something like this into the IRS? And he was like, the typical answer. Okay. So I told him, I said, bro, regardless of if you actually know what's going on or not, you actually got to use some discernment. You can't just send something in just because you paid for it. And a lot of people do that. They send documents in all because of sole purpose. They want to feel like they get their money's worth. So they would be better of hearing the rejection after they sent it in than not sending it in at all. So this is the wrong mindset to have. So now people just want to get their money's worth out of things. That whoa man, good God Almighty, Lord save them. Yo, the mindset that it actually takes to maneuver in that world versus the mindsets of right now. Oh my God. Oh my God again. It is sad. Even the stuff that people say out there, it's sad. This has warped their brains so much that normal common sense has gone completely out the window. And this is why
You're rocking with the best.
That's why. So he came to me. He owed 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. 2023 and 2021 have gotten processed already. 2020 and 2022 is still processing, even though he sent them all in at the same time. So what I did was I refiled the tax return. I did the tax return, do my little magic on it. You gotta remember, my accountant who I consult with, she's the regional accountant in my area for Keller Williams. She's the regional accountant. Very bright lady. She's actually become one of my friends. I actually consider her a friend. Sent her a Mother's Day gift last year too as well. Very nice, very pleasant. She spoke to my wife, spoke to my family. She's very nice. We FaceTime. She's married to a husband. It's a white lady. I consider her one of my friends. Husband, very cool with him. So when I sent the tax return in, it wasn't actually the tax return. It was the actual statement that I sent in with it. It was the statement. It wasn't really about the tax return because for that particular year, wasn't really due much back, but it's the fact that they were garnishing and levying this stuff before. See, they were already taking money out of his check before. They was taking money and stuff out of his check before. They was garnishing and stuff before. So, I did this. Of course. I know people don't want to see it. I know they don't want to hear it. I know the world I operate is totally different from their reality. I get it. Most people will never figure this out. That's why Benjamin Franklin has that look on his face on a $100 bill. Okay, so once I was done with this popped up. And this is why 98% of the people in these spaces will never get a remedy. You will never get a remedy. If I'm just going to keep it 100% honest with you, all you TikTokers over there running the TikTok for a remedy, you just need to stop. You're not going to get a remedy. You're not going to get results. You have the mind of a fucking bird. You have the mind of a bird. You don't know what you're doing. You have a poverty mindset. You are never going to get remedy. Not on your own. You're going to need a whole professional to get you or help you get to the finish line. You using your own discernment and purchasing stuff, you ain't been good at that the whole 5 years you've been in these spaces. You just need to stop, okay? Stop, go back to work, and just do things the regular way. Some people cannot be helped. Some people, they ain't been successful in 5 years in this space for a reason. They ain't been successful in 5 years for a reason. It ain't because of the teacher, it's because of them. So my advice to 98% of the people in these spaces, don't waste your money. Don't give these false hopes. Don't do anything because it's not going to work. At this point, the only thing that you can do is just pay for the professionals to do it. You trying to do shit on your own, it's not going to work. You don't have the mindset, you don't have the temperament, you don't know the intricacies, you have no background in it, and they are going to smell that from a mile away. And you send that shit in, the lawyers are going to respond, and they're going to chew you up and spit you out. And then you're going to be even more depressed. And God forbid that your house or your vehicle is on the line because they coming to snatch that too. They're coming to snatch that too. So the state and affairs of this redemption movement is so far gone. That's why December 31st will be my last live talking about this stuff. And then I'm going to transition damn near every single video I have to members only. Members only. Certain videos for certain levels. December 31st, I am done with the teaching phase. I am done. I'm going to be so far up by then, I'm not even going to even have the time anymore. I'm not even going to even want to. Let me be honest with you. I got other things that I'm doing. I got other business ventures. I am done. I am done. And when I'm done, the packages that I have, the services that I offer, they're going with me. They're going with me. I'm not releasing none of that. When I'm done, it all comes with me. If you don't have it, don't get it, don't understand it, don't have these documents that are on a professional level, which professionals and judges confirm. If you don't have it, you will never get it. And I certain mindset is who I deal with now. This is why my mortgage, bankruptcy, Rule 12b-6, and the IRS tax filing, the whole package. Why do you think it's 7,500? I had some. Already had one person get it. Why do you think it's 7,500? Why do you think it's 7,500? I really should have did it 10,500. I really should have. Why do you think it's 7,500? Because that package ain't for the average person. The package ain't for the average person. All these lowball gurus bringing lowball clients. Nope. That's why it ain't for the average person. That's why. I don't make something that's top notch level available for the everyday person. Why would I do that? Like what sense does that make to do it so just so you can take it and add your sovereign citizen shit to it and fuck it up? It's not for the average person. It's like my trustee services. Why do you think it's 5,000? Because the average person ain't gonna get it. Because that's the whole point. The value of what I have is too high. It's too high for the average person. Average person with the not like who you are as a person, the mindset. That's what I'm saying. The average person's mindset. No. Crash and burn for all I care. Crash and burn for all I care. Because only the select few is going to get this sauce. Only the select few. And you can get the sauce from anywhere. You can get the sauce from anywhere. But you can't get the sauce. But I guarantee you they're not going to have professionals backing them. Ask them who do they consult with? Who do they work with? What group? Ain't going to be no professional in sight. I already know what's going on. Which I already know. Shit. I'm good. I'm good. And this is why December 31st, I am done. Members only. You really thought that just because y'all came across this space that you were ever going to be successful? Like to the point where you can actually retire off this? You actually thought that was true, didn't you? I'm the YouTube disruptor. And I swear to God, I'm going to continue to disrupt. I'm about to tap over to TikTok, talk shit to them right quick, and then I'll get back to business, get back to work. I got some more court cases the lawyer sent me that confirms how to beat the mortgage company in court. I just go read that, share it with my Telegram group a little bit, read a court case or two, shit like that. And we'll just keep it player from the Himalaya. One God, I'm about to tap over to TikTok.